day after news of AstraZeneca acknowledging that COVID vaccine can lead to a rare side effect, fear and panic seem to be gripping India. To put people at ease, a former scientist of Indian Medical Council, the ICMR, Dr. Raman Gangakhedkar, has said that a very small number of people may actually face the risk of COVID-19 vaccine, which is Covishield. Only 7 to 8 individuals out of 10 lakh who received the Covishield vaccine face the risk of experiencing a rare side effect known as TTS. Now, recently AstraZeneca, the pharmaceutical giant which developed the vaccine in partnership with the University of Oxford, had admitted in a court document in the UK that its COVID-19 vaccine could cause a rare side effect characterized by blood clots and low levels of platelets. So the side effects are rare, but they are real, and ICMR former chief scientist coming on record, Kartik, to suggest one need not panic because the number of people who are actually at risk are very few, 7 out of 1 lakh.
That's right. So
10 lakh
7 out
rather.
of 10 lakhs. So 7 in a million is, I mean, you know, every life is precious. You know, let's put that on record and have it very clear that every life is precious. But you know, you're dealing with a pandemic and a vaccine which was introduced to offset the ill effects and the threat to life through the pandemic. So in that context, perhaps 7 in a million is not a very high number to be alarmed about. But obviously, you know, for those 7 people and those families of 7 people in every million, it is obviously, you know, a big deal. But coming back, I think, to the central debate, you know, many doctors are emerging right now and saying that perhaps most of these side effects were already known. And there are some reports right now, Shweta, which are also indicating that perhaps you know, low platelet count as well as blood clots were very common with the COVID-19 virus itself and not necessarily linked to the vaccine, which means those few people, perhaps, you know, the number could differ from 7 in a million, but there were many instances which were reported of low platelet counts as well as blood clots emerging in somebody's circulatory system after getting COVID-19 and not necessarily only after being vaccinated using Covishield against the COVID-19 pandemic. So that is one, you know, one more theory which is emerging at the moment. The other theory emerging is that, you know, other heart-related issues, including strokes, etc., were also known to have occurred in people within 21 days of getting the COVID vaccine shot. Now, which shot specifically? Was it Covishield? Is there enough data right now to ascertain whether there were more cases of patients who had been injected with the Covishield vaccine as compared to the others which were available in India back in the day, including Covaxin as well as Russia's Sputnik vaccine? Is still not really, you know, out there.
But we don't have the data.
We don't have that data as yet. Or if that data is there, at least it's not reported on and it's not available publicly. But I think, yeah, broadly what it does mean is that at least AstraZeneca has now realized and has now come out in the open about the possibility of TTS, which has symptoms of blood clots as well as low platelet count, and a correlation and a direct linkage with the AstraZeneca vaccine, which was sold in India under the brand name of Covishield, produced by Serum Institute.
Okay, I want to put our viewers at ease at the moment because a lot of them are scrambling for answers. We do know a lot of people died after taking vaccine. Now, it wasn't really confirmed whether they died of TTS. That could be investigated here on. A lot of young people, family members are also saying that we also want to take Covishield to court because our family suffered due to adverse impact. However, the chances and the likelihood of it is very minuscule.
I mean, you know, when somebody loses a precious life, you know, a loved one, obviously you want to find a common enemy to pin the blame on. Now, I think what is important to understand right now is that, is there any direct you know, authoritative correlation between the cause of death or serious ailment, as the case may be? I think there were far more cases of serious ailments than the number of deaths reported after being injected by a vaccine globally, not just in India. Is there a direct correlation on whether it was the vaccine which caused that ailment leading to potential death, or whether it was COVID-19 itself which led to those consequences? I think in the absence of any direct correlation by an authoritative voice on the subject or an institute on the subject, you know, it'll be difficult to right now either put somebody at ease or get somebody to panic on whether to blame the vaccine or not. But I think, yeah, there is going to be some suo motu
so
cognizance
suggesting we
being
need
taken.
more data, perhaps we need more clarity from ICMR, from the government, from Covishield makers.
And I'm saying not
Serum
just in India.
Institute.
I'm saying not just in India. You know, the Covishield vaccine was administered in, if I remember correctly, more than 120, 130 countries worldwide. So it was a fairly large distributor. The formula was fairly largely, widely distributed. So I don't think this is an India-specific problem. I don't think it's a UK-specific problem. It is a global problem, and it's a global challenge which which is now being fought at various grounds. But what is the contrary theory to this? My contrary theory is that if 7 in a million people did develop serious ailments, and that is hard data, did the vaccine prevent a few lakh people from contracting COVID and that leading to more serious complications?
Okay.
So these 7 people, you may sound
so you're
very...
suggesting basically it's between saving 100 lives versus saving 1 life. You'd rather save those 100 lives at the cost of
Yeah,
that one life.
I don't know if the ratio would be 100 to 1
In this
or
case,
a
it's
lakh
7
to 7.
1 million.
We know that the vaccine may have impacted 7 in a million people adversely, but I think anecdotal data and from what you hear from doctors does suggest that not having a vaccine would have led to COVID-related adverse effects in a number much larger than 7 in a million.
All right. I hope our viewers will be able to provide us with better insights on to what they think Covishield, AstraZeneca should have done in this case. There are adverse effects to COVID vaccine. They have finally come out to admit there is a case of saving millions of lives which COVID vaccine essentially did, versus cases of 7 out of 10 lakh people being affected by a rare disease.